The legal war between Drake and Universal Music Group was supposed to be the final play to save his reputation, but a series of back-to-back court losses and a shocking new 2026 filing suggests this strategy has completely backfired. When the world watched Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us dominate the charts in 2024, the general consensus was that Drake had lost the rap battle on the scoreboard. However, behind the scenes, Drake was preparing a different kind of retaliation. He wasn't going back to the studio, he was going to the Supreme Court of New York. The common belief is that Drake is simply a bitter artist suing his label because he lost a public feud, but the superior reality, backed by thousands of pages of legal discovery, is that this is a high-stakes financial chess move designed to expose a massive internal shift at the world's largest music company. Today, we are answering 3 critical questions that the industry doesn't want you to ask. What specific evidence does Drake have that streaming numbers were manipulated by a tech giant? Why is Drake's own label, Universal, calling his legal claims illogical and offensive in open court? And how did a lawsuit intended to take down Kendrick Lamar lead to a 2026 RICO investigation into Drake's own business dealings? We have mapped the timelines and pulled the filings, including expert analysis from entertainment lawyers who say this case might change the definition of defamation in music forever. To get to the bottom of this, we had to look at the money, the secret memos, and the digital fingerprints left behind in the world's most famous rap beef. The first major receipt in this case arrived as early as November 2024, when Drake's company Frozen Moments filed a petition in Manhattan. This document claimed that Universal Music Group didn't just let Not Like Us happen, they manufactured its viral success through what Drake's team calls an illegal scheme. According to the filing on November 25, 2024, Drake's lawyers alleged that Universal paid influencers and radio stations to saturate the airwaves with the track. But the most shocking claim involved a massive technical manipulation of digital assistants. The petition alleged that Universal paid Apple to have Siri purposely misdirect users. If a fan asked Siri to play a Drake song or even mentioned his 2021 album Certified Lover Boy, the assistant would instead play Not Like Us, which contains the lyrics labeling Drake a certified pedophile. Per Variety on November 26, 2024, Universal denied these claims, calling them contrived and absurd. An industry analyst we consulted noted that if these claims were true, it would represent a breach of the consumer's trust on a global scale. This payout reveals that the battle wasn't just about bars, it was about the very algorithms that decide what you hear and how your own devices interact with your music library. But even as this tech scandal grew, a much darker financial cloud was forming over Drake's own camp. This brings us to the 3-minute mark of this legal saga and the most shocking development of the entire year. While Drake was busy accusing Universal and Spotify of botting Kendrick's music, the tables turned in a way no one saw coming. On December 31, 2025, a class action lawsuit was filed in Virginia that effectively used Drake's own botting narrative against him. According to the court documents filed on the last day of 2025, Drake is now being accused of using proceeds from the online casino stake to fund his own music botting campaigns. The lawsuit alleges that Drake and several high-profile streamers used a complex tipping scheme to move money without financial supervision, which was then funneled into international streaming farms to inflate Drake's own play counts. This creates a massive legal irony. Per the CBC on January 2, 2026, the lawsuit claims Drake was at the heart of a scheme to fabricate popularity and distort recommendation algorithms, the exact same crimes he accused his rival of months earlier. A former federal prosecutor explained that by bringing his initial petition, Drake opened his own books to discovery, which may have led investigators straight to these crypto-linked accounts. This payout shows that Drake's legal crusade didn't just fail to clear his name, it invited a federal-level spotlight onto his own digital footprint, suggesting that the reality he presented was built on a house of cards. The tension only escalated when a federal judge finally weighed in on the defamation claims Drake brought against his label. On October 9, 2025, Judge Jeanette Vargas issued a ruling that sent shakewaves through the industry. Drake had argued that by promoting Not Like Us, Universal was essentially endorsing the false and dangerous allegations Kendrick made against him. According to the opinion and order filed in the Southern District of New York, the judge dismissed the lawsuit entirely. She ruled that in the context of a vitriolic rap battle, the average listener understands that lyrics are hyperbolic opinions rather than verifiable facts. This payout is devastating for Drake's legal strategy. The court effectively legalized the use of extreme insults in diss tracks, stating that a reasonable listener would not believe the song was imparting factual evidence of a crime. By trying to sue for defamation, Drake inadvertently gave every future artist a court-approved green light to say whatever they want in a rap feud without fear of a lawsuit. This ruling means that even if Kendrick's lyrics were damaging, they're protected as rhetorical hyperbole under the First Amendment. This was a massive win for Kendrick's legal team, who argued that Drake was simply trying to use the court to silence a better lyricist. As the legal walls closed in, the financial motives behind Universal's alleged favoritism became clear. Drake's team claimed that executives at Interscope, Kendrick's label, were incentivized to maximize the success of Not Like Us because it revitalized Kendrick's entire back catalog. According to the New York petition, Universal allegedly offered Spotify a 30% discount on licensing fees for the song in exchange for aggressive recommendations to users. Per The Guardian on January 15, 2025, Spotify denied having any economic incentive to favor one artist over another. However, internal emails leaked during the discovery phase suggest that there was a Project K team within Universal specifically tasked with ensuring the song stayed at #1 through the summer of 2024. The timeline of events shows that while Kendrick was prepped for the most watched Super Bowl halftime show in history, Drake's inner circle was allegedly being purged from the corporate structure. The lawsuit claims that Universal began terminating employees who were perceived to have long-standing loyalty to Drake, replacing them with a new guard focused on Kendrick's conscious rap brand. This payout reveals a cold corporate reality. In the eyes of a billion-dollar conglomerate, an artist is only as valuable as their current momentum, and by 2025, the industry had clearly decided whose momentum they were going to bank on for the next decade. The fallout continued as investigators began looking into the radio airplay numbers for the song during the height of the feud. According to reports from Music Business Worldwide on March 6, 2025, Drake's legal team initially reached an amicable resolution with iHeartMedia, the radio giant he had also accused of taking payola. In that deal, Drake agreed to drop the petition in exchange for documents that supposedly showed iHeart did nothing wrong. No money changed hands. This suggests that Drake's team was more interested in finding a paper trail than a payout. They wanted to show that a conspiracy between the labels and the distributors did. They wanted to show that the culture didn't choose Kendrick, but that a board of directors did. A PR strategist noted that this was a desperate attempt to regain the street cred Drake lost when the song became a global anthem. However, the documents provided by iHeart allegedly showed that the song's rotation was driven by genuine listener requests and high social media engagement. This payout proved that the song's success was far more organic than Drake was willing to admit, further damaging his argument that the game was rigged. By the end of 2025, Drake's strategy had shifted from offense to defense. Not only were his lawsuits being dismissed, but now he was facing a countersuit from a group of songwriters who claimed that he had used similar manipulative tactics for his own hits over the last 5 years. According to a filing on December 12, 2025, these plaintiffs alleged that Drake's team used vanity accounts to boost the performance of his songs on TikTok. Per Rolling Stone on December 15, 2025, Drake's legal representatives called these claims a copycat lawsuit with no merit. But the damage to his public image was already done. The very narrative he tried to build, that Kendrick was a puppet for the industry, was now being applied to him with even more evidence. The irony was peak Hollywood. Every stone Drake threw at the glass house of the music industry seemed to bounce back and hit him directly in the face. His attempts to prove that Kendrick's success was fake only led to more people questioning if Drake's own record-breaking run was as legitimate as it seemed. The final reinforcement of this drama came from the way Drake attempted to settle these disputes behind the scenes. As of January 2026, Drake is currently appealing the dismissal of his defamation suit, a move that legal experts say is a long shot that will likely only result in more legal fees. The takeaway is clear. Drake's tried to use the court to win a battle he couldn't win on the charts, and in doing so, he may have handed his enemies the very weapons they're now using to dismantle his legacy. He wanted to expose the hidden mechanism of the industry, but he forgot that he was one of the primary beneficiaries of that same system for over a decade. The legal discovery didn't just hurt Drake. It pulled back the curtain on how the entire music industry operates in the digital age. It showed that viral moments are often carefully choreographed, but it also showed that no amount of corporate planning can save an artist if the public decides they prefer the other side. Drake's lawsuit backfired because it forced him to play a game where the rules are written in black and white, rather than the gray areas of rap beef where he usually thrives. To understand why this legal backfire is just the tip of the iceberg for the industry's secret playbooks, you have to look at the patterns. This isn't just about two rappers. It's about how labels manage their billion-dollar assets when they start to collide. From secret loyalty clauses to the hidden mechanics of the streaming algorithms we use every day, the rabbit hole goes much deeper than one lawsuit. We've spent months analyzing these documents to show you how the game is played when the cameras are off. If you want to see the full map of how these corporate power moves are actually executed behind the scenes and how other artists are being caught in the crossfire, you need to check out the Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist. It covers the rest of the filings, the deleted DMs, and the money trail that the mainstream media is too afraid to touch. This is the only way to get the full picture of the war for the future of music.